That is the sunset tonight from inside the stealth van. And that concludes my afternoon, which was quite lazy. I was just in a very remote high point of a very major city in the United Kingdom, surveying all that was below me. Road is busy, so we're getting towards rush hour in the United Kingdom. Yeah, so I just wanted to say that that is not a nuclear explosion. Because some people who make fake videos use the sunset and they say, look at that atomic fireball, nuclear fireball, look at the effects it's making in the sky. Yeah, there's a lot of fakery in this world. We live in a world of fakery, and that world, which absolutely hated me and any concept of a creator, because these people have got egos, and they want to be God in their own little worlds, of course. And this has been the problem. I mean, it's been the problem with the Pope, microcosm as macrocosm, you see. So what that means is modern man really is all in the image or the character of the beast. And in the Historicist version of prophecy, of course, the beast is the office of papacy, and the way that's behaved throughout the ages, held up as the anti-example or an opposite to how we are actually to behave. So, obviously, all the self-exaltation and riches and splendour, triple crowns, and prancing around like the horses of Nineveh. It's all well, like I say, a microcosm of the macrocosm. That is that modern man is really all in their own minds. They are all these things. They are their own kings, and their own egos are just is blind. They are no longer spiritual creatures in communication with the divine, and they are just brute beasts. And I'm behind schedule, but perhaps intentionally by design. I'll explain more shortly, but I am in stealth mode, surveying my creation. As the sun sets, we are reminded that what goes around comes around. It's called karma, and it's coming fast to the Roman Catholic Church. Just a reminder in real time how we got here from Jesus becoming Abaddon, the destroying angel, because there is a story behind it, and that story is called Russ Brown. Jesus isn't becoming. This is teaching you cause and effect. It's the apocalypse is happening. It's unfolding. It's unveiling, because certain people are not paying attention to the warnings, to the prophetic warnings, and to the literal warnings from God incarnate, from me, who they know who I am, and they, like I say, for years, probably decades, or well, certainly They came to see me in 2016 and told me I was a prophet. And the next thing they said was, "And we think you're Jesus." It turns out that my angels come back sort of 8 months ago or so, and for the same ones that gave me the Chernobyl prophecy in 1982, which is Revelation 8, to tell me that Russ, even though this thought has never crossed your mind for one single second in your entire life, you are Jesus. You are Jesus. You are God, and Jesus is God. You can't die. You control everything, including Islam. Uh, you know, uh, you wrote the Bible. I mean, Jesus is the Word, is God. And if you want a quick explanation of that, please have a look at the Bible for personification. Personification is we try and keep things consistent. So it's not difficult for you. So if we're using personification at the start of the Bible, sin is a slave master, Israel is personified, wisdom is personified. We're personifying concepts, right? So if wisdom is personified, as a she, Sophia, what's going to be the greatest of all personifications? Love, obviously. Love is God. God is love. And indeed, the Father is a personification of love. And the great company of God's ministering angels, Holy Spirits, the personification of which is the Holy Spirit. It's a personification. So, there is only Jesus. There is only everything else is personification. Didn't you get that? Wasn't it so obvious? Can't you see we use personification all the way through the Bible? Can't you see, for example, Satan and the devil is clearly used as a personification of the Roman authorities because we were using code words, because we were being spied on. Okay, so how did Jesus become Abaddon? Because that's what happens, as the Jehovah's Witnesses and everyone else says. Apparently Jesus is fulfilling all these prophecies. Well, in 1982, at a papal mass in the UK, I prophesied Chernobyl in the VIP section, right in front of the Pope, at a historic papal visit, which I can, it can be proven that I was there. My father was joint head of security for it, and Pope's close protection officer that day. And I prophesied Chernobyl, and lots of people wrote it down. And the Catholic Church have a division that investigates these things, and they investigated, and they found it to be true. But instead of telling the whole world the great joyous news that there's a biblical prophet, actually turns out to be the second coming in Jesus. Yes, because the clouds of heaven was not literally the clouds in coming in great glory in the clouds of heaven, with power and great glory, because. These things are everything in the Bible has its spiritual correspondence. Everything natural, including the sky and the clouds. These are the clouds represents a literal sense of the word, which covers the spiritual sense, which is the glory. This was Emanuel Swedenborg teaching you these things 150 years ago, and yes, Jesus did tell him to start the new church. The new church is the Swedenborg church. It's a non-denominational church. But he said that Jesus told him to start a new church, and I can confirm now I'm here that I did. So the church is already on earth. It's the Swedenborg New Church, as I've said before, my Bigfoot channel. But moving on, so how did Jesus become Abaddon, the destroying angel? Because obviously something's, everyone says the Roman Catholic Church keep on saying to me, Russ won't do anything because he's Jesus, and Jesus won't do anything. He's too nice. Well, Jesus has become Abaddon because, people need to learn cause and effect. It's very simple. It's a reality I was taught in my scripted life, where I was, living on a divide between what you Americans would call the projects, or a council estate, very rough council estate, and nice middle class suburbia. And the boys from the council estate were brutalised. Violence breeds violence. What we're teaching here, cause and effect. So who's made me, Russ Brown, because this is me, fulfilling this prophecy now in real time, because the angel came back and said it's been 40 years since Chernobyl. The trumpet prophecies are in their second fulfillment, because this is a dual fulfillment. See the seven trumpets, chapter 10. Thou must prophesy again. Hello. Dual fulfillment. This is dual fulfillment. Basically, this century coming to pass it appears every 40 years, which would make sense. That's 40 is the number of God's judgment. And 40 years after Chernobyl, which I prophesied in 1982 at the Papal Mass, this same angels came back and, to my amazement, said, Russ, you also fulfill the next prophecy as well. You are now Abaddon, the destroying angel, with the keys to the bottomless pit. As soon as he said that, all hell broke loose in the Middle East. And, I didn't put them back in the box because we're going to support. So this is another initiative. Jesus is going to take control of Islam, okay? So, them Christian Zionists, they're going to learn that, that false Christ in the desert wasn't me. I have it absolutely confirmed from the Holy Spirit, that's my angel, that I am Israel. I am Israel. So how did Jesus become Abaddon? Cause and effect. Because the Roman Catholic Church have treated me like absolute shit. That's what they've done. They've brutalised me, they've suppressed me, they've oppressed me, they've made sure I'm skint, I've never got any money, got no support, got no visibility online. I've got a load of trolls. They pay a load of trolls. They pay to follow me about. Just being childishly annoying. But the irony of it is, the Roman Catholic Church, a priest turns up out of the blue, ambushed me, arranged through my Catholic side of the family, above merciajew in Coventry City Centre, 2016, where I worked, and it says, Russ, the reason you're like that, nodded to my viral YouTube channel, which he was just about to shut down. The reason exposing Jesuit 322 Roman Catholic Church operations in collaboration with the Freemasons and the Zionist Jews. And so he nodded to the screen and goes, the reason you're like that is because you're a prophet. Oh, so you've come to tell me that. So celebrations, surely you're going to crack open a bottle of champagne and say, well, fantastic, we're going to tell everybody we've got proof you're a prophet. No, quite the opposite. He said, but we're not interested in anything God has to say anymore. In fact, we're going to take out suppression contracts to make sure you're never a successful prophet. And if you try and get with anyone famous, we'll kill you. And, just be grateful that we haven't killed. Well, they didn't say that, but, that's basically what... that's the tone. And they came back a second time with more paperwork and more contracts forbidding me to criticise the Roman Catholic Church, because they said they considered me the greatest single threat to the existence of the Roman Catholic Church. Well, it wasn't until they turned up and started a fight 7 years ago. I was completely ignoring them to the point of, almost forgot they exist. But they started a fight, and that fight was what's just about to end them with, the very same thing I prophesied to them in 1982, as you'll find out. But why did Jesus become Abaddon? Because, like I say, exactly what I've just told you. The Roman Catholic Church have, been really incredibly rude to my face, pretty much certainly knowing that I was Jesus. So reincarnation, it's reincarnation. That's how we came into the earth. Same as how they expected Elijah to come, and Jesus would say, "Who do you say I am?" He never refuted the doctrines of the Pharisees on reincarnation, or attempted to, because everybody just accepts, and pretty much have always accepted, reincarnation is how it works. But as far as coming from the clouds of heaven are concerned, you Bible literalists, you're always wrong. Why don't you ever work out you're always wrong? He's not coming from the literal clouds in heaven, because, like I say, everything in the Bible has its everything natural has its spiritual correspondence, and clouds represents a little sense, which covers the glory. Hence you will see him coming in power and great glory. That is in the literal, prophetic and spiritual sense of the word, which again I could explain to you how we go from two modes. So the final fulfillment of the trumpet prophecies are more literal or more louder. For example, Wormwood being Chernobyl, probably the most stunning fulfillment of all. Ignore these silly sites saying it's got nothing to do with it. Clearly it has. Yeah, it's 1 in 500,000 chance, 1 in 500,000 that the worst man-made disaster is named in the Bible, because we delivered it to the Catholic Church as a warning of the proliferation of nuclear power, because we have things called magnetic polar shifts periodically, and they know perfectly well. Are they doing this on purpose? Is it Is it actually, are they intentionally trying to wipe us out? No one could be this stupid. The official scientific data says it's imminent. Imminent. Yes, but still, in 32 countries, they expanded nuclear reactors to 440 on Earth. On Earth, 440 nuclear reactors. And what's going to happen in a magnetic polar shift? Well, it's pretty obvious. They all melt down. And my angels have been into the future and they are furious. Furious with the political class for their gross, every single one of them could be done with gross negligence in a public office, because you know, the human race is extinct in 3 years' time. If you're an atheist, you all died in 3 years' time because of the stupidity of atheists. I mean, I'm sorry, but this is an emergency. The second coming is an emergency operation to save you from destroying yourselves. In fact, you have already destroyed yourselves because everything's already happened. But we've come back, and we are time travelers essentially. That's what prophecy teaches you, you idiots. We are outside time and space. Otherwise, we wouldn't know that Chernobyl was going to explode in 1982 with absolute certainty. That also proves we're not in a multiverse either, because there wasn't various outcomes. There was just one, Chernobyl exploding in 1986. Well, so here we have Jesus' Abaddon. That's the destroying angel. That's me. That's Russ Brown. So the story of how we go from Jesus being Jesus to Jesus being Abaddon, the destroying angel, in charge of the king of the demons, is simply a lesson to you, the Roman Catholic Church, on what you created. You created a monster. You created you really do get what you've created, what you deserve, and this is basically treat people how you would like to be treated yourself, isn't it? That's exactly what it is. So basically, I try all my life to treat you in a Christ-like and Jesus way until I get to the age of 50, 52. Suddenly the angels come back and tell me, Russ, you're not just a prophet, but you're in fact prophet and king. You are Jesus, and this is the second coming, and soon everyone's going to know that, but at the moment hardly anyone does. The Roman Catholic Church thought they were bullying little old Russ Brown, but it turns out they were bullying. We set a trap because we know the end from the beginning. So we set a trap. So they thought they were bullying little old prophet Russ Brown. Absolutely minuscule. He's been trodden down all his life by the Roman Catholic Church and Jesuits. From the shallows, and it seems like they control everything. And honestly, they've tried to set me up so many times in you can imagine, like horrible things. But in every way they've tried to set me up. Of course, they've failed, and they've failed, and they've failed, and they've failed, and they've failed because I'm innocent and I haven't done anything wrong. I really haven't. So, well, not in any of the ways you think. So that's this is the reality of the situation. This is cause and effect, and I am treating you how you treat me. Simple. You treat me like shit. You in fact, you tried to destroy me. You said that you wanted to sit with me during the hour the SCL contract started. And look what the prophecy says. It says that you'll be closed down, in an hour. Pardon me. Well, the person this is you. Couldn't you see what you've done? So what you've done is you fulfilled a script, and you don't realise it, but you are just a useful idiot playing a dialectic in which I destroy you imminently with the very thing I prophesied to you in 1982 because you completely ignored it, and you thought you could just ignore God, ignore your Creator, and the end result is you have caused the extinction of the human race because the warning was about the proliferation of nuclear power, nuclear reactors, and we've got a magnetic polar shift in less than 3 years, and all 440 nuclear reactors on Earth melt down simultaneously, causing the extinction of mankind.